Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news. Something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run. A power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL news cycle lately, you know that the landscape of the AFC North is always intense, always unpredictable, and right now, it's on the verge of a potential seismic shift. And when we talk about shifts, we're talking about the kind of move that can define a franchise's future. And that's exactly what's brewing with the Pittsburgh Steelers and a certain wide receiver from Washington. That's right, we're talking about Terry McLaurin, the star receiver of the Commanders, who just made waves by requesting a trade. And I know what you're thinking. Is this just another rumor? A blip on the radar? Or could this really happen? Well, buckle up, because this story is far from over. And it could have major implications for the Steelers' ambitions this season. So, just over a week ago, news broke that Terry McLaurin, a player who's been a cornerstone of Washington's offense since he entered the league in 2019, officially requested a trade. Now, that's not something players do lightly, especially someone who's been so consistent and reliable. McLaurin, a former Ohio State standout, has been nothing short of a revelation for Washington, often carrying the load as their primary weapon in the passing game. Over his 6 seasons, he's been a model of durability and productivity. He's surpassed 1,000 receiving yards in 5 of those 6 seasons, which is no small feat in today's NFL, especially when you consider the level of defenses he's faced and the chaos that often surrounds the Commanders' offense. And it's not just about yardage. McLaurin's best season, statistically, was 2024. And yes, I know, we're still in the early stages of this season, but the numbers tell a compelling story. He scored a career-high 13 receiving touchdowns during the regular season, showing that he's not just a yards-after-catch kind of guy but also someone who can find the end zone when it matters most. Plus, he added 3 more touchdowns during Washington's playoff run, making it clear that he's a clutch performer, a player who steps up in the big moments. Throughout his career, he's rarely missed games, only missing a handful since his debut, which underscores his durability and the trust that quarterbacks have in him. This kind of consistency is rare and highly valuable, especially when you're trying to build an offense around a reliable receiver. Now, from the league's perspective, the skepticism is still there. Not everyone believes Washington will actually move McLaurin, and some say this is more about frustration than a genuine attempt to leave. But the fact remains, the trade request has opened the door to possibilities. And that's where the Steelers come in. According to reports from early August, Pittsburgh's front office actually made a call to Washington to inquire about McLaurin's availability. That's not something teams do lightly, especially not for a player of McLaurin's caliber. But, as of now, there's no indication that Pittsburgh has made a formal offer or that Washington has decided to seriously entertain such calls. Still, the fact that the Steelers showed interest speaks volumes about their current mindset and their plans for this season. And here's the thing, from the Steelers' perspective, this move makes a lot of sense. Their current receiving core is a bit thin, especially after the trade of George Pickens to Dallas and the ongoing uncertainties at the wide receiver position. The top of the depth chart is anchored by DK Metcalf. But beyond him, the options are limited. Robert Woods, Calvin Austin. These are names that, while talented, don't quite have the same impact or consistency that McLaurin can bring. And let's be honest, the Steelers are no strangers to aggressive moves in the offseason. Since March alone, they've made multiple high-profile trades, including acquiring DK Metcalf from Seattle, parting ways with George Pickens, and making splashy trades involving Minkah Fitzpatrick, Jalen Ramsey, and Jonnu Smith. Their front office has shown they're willing to be bold, to take risks, in pursuit of a championship. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Pittsburgh could once again be the team to make a bold move, if they're looking to bolster their passing attack, especially after losing a player like Pickens. Adding a proven playmaker like McLaurin could be exactly what they need. His ability to create separation, make contested catches, and be a reliable target for Kenny Pickett could elevate the entire offense. And let's not forget, the Steelers have a history of making smart in-season moves when it counts. Think about their past. They're always looking for that edge, that game-changing piece, especially when it's available at the right price. Now, I should mention that the trade rumors come with some caveats. Washington is in a tricky spot because McLaurin's value is high, but they also don't want to just give him away. They're possibly looking for a substantial return, which could complicate negotiations. But the fact that Pittsburgh made an inquiry shows serious interest, and let's be honest, with the season just around the corner, every team is trying to position itself for a deep playoff run. And adding a player like McLaurin could be the piece that pushes a team from good to great. And what would this mean for the Steelers' offense? Well, it would give them a true number one receiver, a guy who can stretch the field, create mismatches, and keep defenses honest. Kenny Pickett, still developing, would have a weapon who's proven he can produce under pressure, in big games, and in the playoffs. It would also add a veteran presence to a relatively young group, giving them some stability and leadership at a critical position. Plus, with McLaurin's ability to stay healthy and his consistent production, he would be a welcome addition to Pittsburgh's offensive arsenal. Of course, there are other factors at play: the salary cap, the draft capital involved, and the team's overall strategy will influence whether this move happens or not. But the signs are there, and the interest from the Steelers is clear. They're clearly not content with just what they have now. They see the potential to upgrade and to make a serious push this season. And with McLaurin's trade request, the opportunity might just be there for them to strike at the right moment. So, as we look ahead to the season, Steelers fans, I want you to imagine the possibilities. What if Kenny Pickett had McLaurin running routes all over the field? What if this move revitalized Pittsburgh's passing game and helped them dominate in the AFC North? The division is tough, no doubt, with the Bengals, Ravens, and Browns always lurking, but adding a player like McLaurin could give the Steelers a vital edge. A secret weapon that could be the difference in close games, in critical moments. And remember, the NFL is all about the little details, the strategic moves that can turn a good team into a championship contender. Pittsburgh has shown they're willing to be aggressive, and this potential trade is just the latest example of that. Whether it happens now, next week, or during the season, the Steelers are keeping their options open, and they're clearly looking to improve their roster as much as possible. That's what champions do. They leave no stone unturned, especially when the opportunity presents itself to add a game-changing player like Terry McLaurin. Now, I want to stress, all of this is still speculation for now. No official deal has been made, and Washington's stance remains unclear. But if recent history and the current roster needs tell us anything, it's that the Steelers are always looking for ways to get better. They've been aggressive in trades, in free agency, and in their draft strategy. So don't be surprised if this story develops further in the coming weeks. Maybe even leading to a blockbuster deal that could reshape the AFC North landscape. And as fans, we should stay tuned because this is exactly the kind of drama that makes NFL season so exciting. The possibility of adding McLaurin, a proven star, to the Steelers roster is enough to get any fan excited. It could be the piece they need to push for a deep playoff run. Maybe even another shot at a Super Bowl. But whether or not this trade happens, one thing is certain. The Steelers are not content to sit still. They're always looking for that edge, that extra spark that can turn a good team into a legendary one. And I, for one, can't wait to see how this story unfolds. Pause here, just for a second, if you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you. It's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move for Terry McLaurin? Do you think it's the right decision? Would he be the perfect fit in Pittsburgh's offense? Or do you believe the team should focus on other areas? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. Remember, this season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory. And moves like this could be the key to finally breaking through that playoff barrier. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep supporting the black and gold. I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and the latest news from the Steelers camp. Until then, let's keep the faith and keep dreaming of that next Super Bowl appearance.